What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I've got right here both the Pixel 9 Pro Fold and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, and I'm going to put them, kind of compare the two and answer the question at the end, which one should you pick up, Pixel 9 Pro Fold or the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6? Now let's start things off with design. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold comes in at 257 grams versus 239 grams on the Z Fold 6. So this is noticeably a little bit heavier. They also do have a glass front, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on both of them, and then glass back, Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back as well, and then aluminum frames. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold is IPX water resistant, and the Z Fold 6 is IP48 water resistant. So it is just a little bit more of that IP rating. When we come to the displays, first of all, there's a huge difference. Just take a look at them. One is more like a conventional smartphone, and one is, some people get mad, but it's like a chocolate bar. It's like a candy bar, but it's much thinner, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is much wider, and it actually has the same display size as the Pixel 9 and 9 Pro, 6.3 inches. But so does the Galaxy Z Fold 6, 6.3-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED, 120 Hz, 2000 nits of peak brightness. Pixel 9 Pro Fold is also OLED 120 Hz HDR. It also is max 2700 nits of peak brightness. And then when we actually fold open the display right here, the inner display, you're going to notice a huge difference. A huge difference in the inner display because we're getting 8 inches on the Pixel Fold, a huge bump up from its predecessor. Again, 120 Hz, 2700 nits of peak brightness. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 is coming in at 7.6 inches to 120 Hz and max 2000 nits of peak brightness. So it obviously does come down to which one you would prefer. Do you like the larger 8-inch display on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold or the smaller, more compact, yet still large 7.6-inch display right here on the Galaxy Z Fold 6? Now also, when you look at displays, you see the front-facing camera right here on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but you don't see it right here on the Z Fold 6. It's under display and it's potato quality. We're going to get the cameras in a moment. But I'll tell you this, the front-facing camera on the inner display of the Pixel is much better. There you have it. It's going to be much better. And also thinness-wise of the phone, it's 5.1 millimeters thin, which is super thin for a foldable. Now, I know there's the Honor Magic V3, which is like in the 4 millimeters. But when you put these side by side and compare the two, yeah, the Z Fold 6 is just going to be a little bit thicker. But, I mean, I like both of them in the hand. Now, one thing I don't like about them, or about the Pixel specifically, is the cover display's chunky frame. I mean, look how chunky that is right here. That is a very chunky frame. I mean, they could have made it very thinner, like the Galaxy Z Fold 6, like thinner bezels. Even the OnePlus Open, because I personally see this as resembling the OnePlus the most. They could have had thinner bezels, like this frame could have been a little bit thinner too, but that's like one of the big downsides. So for me, like, I'll still personally prefer the design of Pixel 9 Pro Fold because of it being thinner, because of that larger inner display, not having the under display camera. But guys, Z Fold 6 is just more premium. It's more refined. I love this navy blue color, by the way. And if you're looking for a more refined and more premium foldable, you're going to go with the Z Fold 6. Now, I didn't talk about the crease because they're both present. And but out of the two, I think OnePlus actually, and it's not one of these two, it tops out on having a less of a crease than these. These are about the same, so really no worries on day-to-day use. Like right now, you can see the light shining on the Z Fold 6. You're going to notice the crease, but when you're looking at it head-on, it's not really too much of an issue. Performance and software. So here's where things are just a tad bit different in regards to the hardware. So Tensor G4 on the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of starting storage. And then we get 12 gigs of RAM and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 right here on the Galaxy Z Fold 6, as well as 256 gigs of starting storage. Now this also has Samsung DeX, which is a huge plus. They're both buttery smooth, both have 7 years of software updates, both are currently running Android 14, and they both have their own user interface, Pixel UI, that has more of that Material U, and then One UI, which is really refined. It's one of my favorite OEM user interfaces. So good job, Samsung. Keep it up. I'm super excited for One UI 7. But on a day-to-day basis, both of them tackle every single task that I've kind of thrown at it, whether that be YouTube, whether that be Google Chrome, sending emails, whether that be browsing on Twitter, Threads, and all that stuff. Calling, texting have both been great. And for those who do ask, I use Mint Mobile. And I'll be leaving a link in the description down below if you want to take a look. But calls have been great on both ends. People can hear me fine. I can hear the other person I'm speaking with fine. So calls have been great. I can definitely recommend Mint Mobile. And I also do use T-Mobile on one of my other lines, but I've just personally been happy with Mint Mobile. It's also much more affordable. You're getting great quality, great speeds without breaking the bank. So definitely be sure to check the link in the description down below. This video is not sponsored by them. I've worked with them before, but I also happen to use them on a personal day-to-day. So definitely check them out. But yeah, I mean, performance on a day-to-day basis has been great. If you want to put the chipsets next to each other, yes, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is going to perform much better. And I feel like One UI just has a little bit more of like those extra software features. There's Galaxy AI, and then there's Gemini AI on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And it all comes down to which one you personally do prefer. The only real feature that I've been using for AI has been Pixel's Magic Editor. On top of Magic Eraser, I've been using Magic Editor and playing with that, so that's been fun. But in this department, I think it comes down to preference for user interface, but the sheer raw performance, if you're looking for like the best of the best performance and foldables between the two, you're probably going to want to go with the Z Fold 6. Now the cameras, this one, I personally think it's going to be the Pixels. So the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it has a 48 megapixel wide camera with OIS, 10.8 megapixel telephoto with OIS and 5x optical zoom, and a 10.5 megapixel ultra wide camera. And I'll be putting up sample photos. A Z Fold 6, 50 megapixel wide with OIS, 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom and OIS. And then you get 12 megapixel ultra wide. So they both have triple camera setup, but they don't take after their respective pros and ultras. So I wish the Z Fold 6 had the ultra camera setup, and the 9 Pro Fold, because it has a Pro moniker, should have taken the same camera setup as the 9 Pro XL, because you're paying a premium price for this, so you would expect premium specs, including the camera. And I think that's one of the downsides of foldables in general. You don't pick up a foldable if you're really into camera quality. If you want everything else about a foldable, the great stuff about a foldable, you get it for that, and then camera is just like it's just not one of your top priorities. But if you don't really mind, then you can obviously choose either one. I still personally prefer the cameras on the Pixel. I love Pixel cameras. Samsung Z Fold 6 has been great, but I'd still personally go with the Pixels. And I'm not going to dive too much into details of saturation and all that stuff. There are other channels that do that. I'm just sharing my thoughts about what I think between the two. Battery, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, 4,650 milliamp hour battery, 21 watts wired and 7.5 watts wireless. Z Fold 6, 4,400 milliamp hour battery, 25 watts wired, 50% in 30 minutes, which is the advertised, 15 watts wireless and 4.5 watts reverse wireless. Now, while the Z Fold 6 just does charge a little bit faster, I'll put it this way. The battery life on a day-to-day basis on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold has lasted much longer. It's just been much more reliable. And while I do hate how slow it charges, I can get through that as long as the battery is going to last me throughout the day. I can just charge it at night, wake up in the morning, and I'm all set to go. So for me, the battery department would go to the Pixels. But again, if you really just don't care too much about it, you have a charger wherever you go, it's not too much of a problem, then you can choose either one. For me, I don't really like charging my phone because I want to use it. And I'm using these on a daily heavy usage. Like, I'm using it for everything I do, both for business and for personal needs. And I need them to last me an entire day. And they both last me, but Pixel 9 Pro Fold just lasts longer. That's my point. They'll both get me through the day, but I really have to push it with the Z Fold 6. Pixel 9 Pro Fold is just much easier to get through until it's time for me to go to bed. Now the pricing is close, and it would have been actually the same if it was last year's phones, but this year Z Fold 6 got a price bump to $1,900 and $1,800 on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And here's what I have to say about, foldables in general. First of all, we're at a point where, foldables are getting super good, but there's still so many things that are not included in foldables. I think for at least me, when we talk about foldables, I believe foldables should have the best of the best. It should be the most premium. Again, you're paying for that premium price, $1,800, $1,900, sometimes even upwards of $2,000. You're paying for that premium. You want to have premium specs. You want to have premium quality, premium build, premium cameras, premium battery life, all that good stuff. But I guess it's just we're still not there yet. Even OnePlus, if I add that into this too, it's going to be the same thing. Like, we're not getting the best of the best in every single department. I really want it to be there, but for those who are looking to get into into the foldable world, we have so many great options, but you just have to kind of realize that you're going to have to make some compromises. Like, if you want a foldable, you're probably not going to get the best cameras because there are better camera systems out there. You're not going to get the best battery life as compared to a normal smartphone and all that stuff. So just make sure you know what you're getting into when you're going into a foldable. But overall, when it comes down between the two, honestly, what I would have loved to have is this Pixel 9 Pro Fold, maybe with Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. And I know Tensor G4 has gotten me throughout the day, but just like having that a little bit better performance just for long-term use would have been great. That would have been awesome. Then, I would hands down, like without a doubt, go choose this because I love Pixel. Something about Pixel UI makes me feel productive. I don't know why, but like whenever I pick up a Pixel, I just want to get work done. I don't know if you understand me, but for those who have Pixel, let me know if you have that same feeling. I don't know, maybe it's just me being weird, but I'm going to choose the Pixel 9 Pro Fold over the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Larger display, larger cover display, and I can get through with, this chunky frame and stuff. It has that larger display. It's easier to use one hand. It has a larger 8-inch display versus 7.6-inch display. And I love this refined design of the Z Fold 6. It's very premium. It's very sturdy. But there are just some things that, I wish it had that larger, wider display, larger inner display, and all that good stuff. So for me, Pixel 9 Pro Fold is going to be the one I'll choose. Again, they're both great devices, though. Absolutely love them. If you did enjoy this video, definitely be sure to smash the like button. Comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel out a lot and will help push my content out to more people. If you want to check out my latest wallpaper pack, it's called Urban Glow. Again, links for all of these and for all, my links are in the description down below. It really does help out the channel, and that's been it for me. Catch you guys in the next one.